Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit more different. I would not be singing today, but bringing a message that God gave me while I was praying, and just ask you to bear with me. I'm not really used to preaching. So what I'm going to break down today is found in Matthew 7:24 to 27. And it says, "Therefore, whoever heareth these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him up unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descends, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon the rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descends, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." So, my question for you today is, where are you standing? ¿Adonde estás tú parado? Espiritualmente, yo siento que nosotros tenemos que reevaluate our spiritual levels and our spiritual selves on the daily basis, and see exactly where we're standing, if we are truly founded on the rock or if we're founded in the sand. So for me, the rock is God. God is our foundation. God is our rock. He is solid, sturdy. The sand for me is the world. So if you're founded on the world and tú estás menguando and your spiritual level is doing one of these, you're not founded on the rock. So I do have this. So I want you guys to imagine something. I have my rock here and I have the sand. So it says here, when the winds blow and when the floods come, that you will not fall, correct? I'm going to blow this rock and see if it moves. The rock didn't move. The rock being God, God is our foundation. So when we found ourselves on God, no matter what trials come our way, no matter what the enemy tries to throw our way, because the enemy is always planeando to try to tumbarnos, because God knows, the enemy knows the purpose that God has with us. So he's always going to try to knock us down and to break us. But when we're founded on the rock, we're not going to go anywhere, because God gives us the victory. Now, when our foundation is on the sand and the wind comes, look what happens. It scatters. And imagine if you were standing on this and a wind comes. You're going to be blown away. No, let me put this down. I'm a mess. The whole breakdown of this is for you to understand the importance of being founded on God and not on other things. When your foundation is founded on God, when the enemy tries to knock you down, and he is, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you and say that going to church and serving God is all peaches and cream, that we're going to have it all and we're not going to struggle and we're not going to go through the stuff that we went through when we were in the world. That would be a lie. We're going to go through situations and we're going to go through trials, because at the end of the day, those trials make us stronger. Those trials give us wisdom. Those trials help us help someone else that's going through it. So when the enemy tries to knock us down and we're founded strictly on God, we might shake a little bit, but we will not fall. Now, if we're founded on other things, when the enemy throws something our way, we will fall. And how great is it that at the end of the day, no matter what we're going through, God always gives us the victory. If you go to Deuteronomio 24, it says, "For the Lord your God is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you the victory." So it says it right here. God fights for us and he gives us the victory. How amazing is that? That no matter what we're going to go through, at the end of the day, we're always going to see the victory because God is fighting for us. I wanted to share my testimony with you guys. I think it's really important because at one point my foundation wasn't on God, and I want to show you guys what happens when your foundation isn't on God. So going through what I went through, I was raised in church. My mom's a pastor and so is my dad. And yo conozco la palabra de Dios. Yo conocí las maravillas que Dios ha hecho porque bastante pasamos en Florida. When we were over there, we went through a lot as a family and we always saw the glory of God. And so yes, yo sabía de la palabra de Dios, and it's hard when you leave God's path and you go to the world. It's hard for you to go back. It's wicked hard for you to go back. But at the end of the day, you need to fight the flesh and you need to give into the spirit. The enemy is always going to be pulling, and he's going to be pulling to try to knock you down and to try to keep you where you're at because he doesn't want you to grow. And if you feed into the flesh, you're never going to get closer to God that way. So I fed into the flesh. I kept going on with it and kind of like pushing God aside and only calling onto God when I needed him. And that's the biggest error that we make, is only calling to God when we need him. How amazing is it that when we call onto God, God is always there. But it's not okay for us to just put him in a corner and be like, all right, God, you gave me my blessing. I'm going to leave you right here until the next time that something bad happens to me. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, we praise God in the morning, we praise God in the night, we praise God when we have everything, we praise God when we have nothing. Because at the end of the day, he gives things to us and he will take it away if we don't know how to value our blessings. So when I went through what I went through, that I was really heartbroken, I was really hurt, I was in pain, and part of me was like, you need to seek for God. Only God can heal you. Only God can take this away. I ended up giving into the flesh. I was like, you know what? I'll go get a bottle. You know what? I'll do this instead. And what did I start doing? I started to drown my sorrows in alcohol. I started to smoke and to keep my mind busy so that I didn't have to think about the hurt and I didn't have to think about the anger that I felt inside. And that was one of my biggest mistakes because I lost a lot and it didn't solve anything at all. My process when I came back to God's path was really hard. Not depending on the alcohol to kind of get my emotions away. Not depending on other people to make me happy, because I was always faking to be happy. I was always alegre and eléctrica just because I didn't want people to see me hurt. I didn't want people to see me cry. And that was my error. And it took a lot for me to let all these things go, especially in a short period of time. I've been going back to church for 2 months already, and I can say that I don't feel the urge to smoke. I don't feel the urge to drink. I don't feel angry. I don't feel hurt. I actually feel at peace. And that's something that I was trying to find, and I was looking for it in the wrong places. And God's mercy upon me was so great, and it still is so great, that even when I was in the wrong, even when I was doing all this, and even when I turned my back away from him, he still spoke to me. He still warned me about what was to come, and was still telling me that he's calling me and that he has a purpose for me. And sometimes we get a little stubborn and we don't listen to what God is trying to say, and we get consequences. So when I was going through what I was going through, I was questioning why me? Why am I going through this? Why do I have to hurt? Why do I have to cry? Why do I have to feel this way? But at the end of the day, it's not why, but what the purpose is of this whole situation. And my mom taught me that. But after dealing with everything that I was going through, when I did accept God, it was hard. I really didn't have that much support. My mom is all the way in Philly, and she's my go-to for everything, especially when it comes to church. I do have my youth leader that was helped, definitely played a big part in like pushing me forward and keeping me on track, because I don't really have a lot of friends out here that serve God. So that was my struggle. I started going back to church, and everybody was still trying to traerme para atrás para el mundo. Let's go out to drink, let's go clubbing, let's do this, let's do that. And it's so easy to give into the flesh. But at the end of the day, you have to make a choice between feeding your flesh or feeding your spirit. And my main goal was to get closer to God. And hasta este día, que a Dios sea la gloria, I've remained firm in my decisions, and I've done everything possible to keep getting closer to God. I've left a lot of things. I've changed the way I am. Hi, buddy. How are you? Say hi.
Hi.
But I have changed the way I am just so that I can get closer to God. And a lot of people have seen that. But my, ¿cómo puedo decir? El punto de esto es que if my foundation was more on being founded on God and not on everything else, I would have not have been knocked down the way I did. And it was 10 times harder for me to get right back up. So I want to tell you today, whatever you're going through, whatever your situation may be, si tú te apartaste de los caminos de Dios, you can go back. Sí se va a hacer difícil, porque el enemigo, que el Señor los reprenda, va a tratar de cualquier manera to drag you down and to stop the purpose and to not complete, for you not to complete what God has in store for you. And it's no es tarde. You can still come to God's path, and you have a support system. I'm always here. You can find me on Facebook. You have a support system, and there's a lot of people out here que work with the youth, and have been through more than what I've been through, and probably been through what you're going through, to help you out a little bit more than what I can, or the following person can. So I just wanted to kind of enlighten you guys on my testimony and how I came to God's path, and the big change that it actually made in my life for me and my son. So yeah, my question to you would be, where are you standing? Are you founded on God, or are you founded in the sand? I hope that this breakdown was de beneficio, and I hope that it was able to change a couple of you guys' hearts and make you guys realize that no matter what, God is always there, and it's never too late to come to God's path. Just haz ese paso y Dios va a hacer el resto contigo. And that's all He wants. He wants you to try. And as long as we make that effort to try, God is going to do the rest. So God bless you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. And have a great day.